Good morning, respected judges. Today, my topic for paper presentation is correlation of severity of visual impairment with RNFL thickness and demyelinating diseases. There is no financial interest. Starting with the introduction, the RNFL is composed mainly of unmyelinated axons of retinal ganglion cells, which become myelinated within the optic nerve to form a white matter tract and convey the visual information from the retina to the lateral geniculate nucleus. Measurements of the RNFL therefore give relatively direct measures of the number of axons present. Axonal loss has been recognized in the RNFL in early stages of demyelinating diseases such as MS and NMO. Brief introduction about the demyelinating diseases. MS is a demyelinating relapsing remitting inflammation in which axonal loss is the major cause of irreversible neurological disability. Nearly half of the patients develop optic neuritis, and it is a heralding event in 15 to 20% of the patients. Even without a history of optic neuritis, the RNFL by OCT in MS is typically thinner than in normal controls. Neuromyelitis optica, another type of demyelinating disease with predilection for optic nerve and spinal cord, has a devastating and distinct cause from multiple sclerosis. Third is the clinically isolated syndrome. It is often the first manifestation of MS, which typically affects the optic nerve, brain, and spinal cord. To be termed as CIS, the episode should last for at least 24 hours and should occur in absence of fever or infection with no clinical features of encephalopathy. So, what's the role of OCT in demyelinating diseases? It has enabled measurement of peripapillary RNFL loss with micron level resolution and excellent reproducibility. OCT employs low coherence interferometry to generate non-invasive in vivo high-resolution cross-sectional images of the RNFL by measuring backscatter of the infrared light. It was a cross-sectional observational study carried out in the Department of Ophthalmology, Indore. The sample size included 60 eyes of 30 patients above 20 years of age with diagnosed cases of MS, NMO, and CIS who had previous attack of optic neuritis. Patients having severe cognitive dysfunction and unwilling to give consent were excluded. All OCT imaging was obtained by a single observer. It was acquired by taking 3 circular 3.4 mm diameter scans entered on the optic disc, the mean of which was used to express the RNFL thickness, and the average value of 3 different measurements or quadrants were calculated. The overall data obtained in all the quadrants were identified as RNFL overall. The sectors were defined in clockwise order for right eye and counterclockwise for the left eye. Following ranges were assigned for overall RNFL thickness measured by OCT. Results. A total of 30 subjects completed the study, 6 of NMO, 6 of CIS, and 18 of MS in 18 months. Chi-square test was used for intergroup analysis of RNFL thickness. The demographic profile of the 3 groups showed a female preponderance in each group with mean age in the range of 25 to 45 years. After a clinical episode of optic neuritis, the overall unadjusted mean RNFL thickness was lesser in as compared to NMO was significantly lower than those with MS, while the patients with CIS had the highest RNFL thickness. This is the mean value of the patients of MS, NMO, and CIS, in which we can see that the NMO patient has the overall lowest RNFL thickness following an attack of optic neuritis. While in fellow eye, it was found that the mean RNFL thinning in MS patient is significantly greater than the fellow eyes of NMO patients. This is the data of the MS, NMO, and CIS. These RNFL thickness, their association were tested with the visual functions by using the Spearman correlation coefficient, and it was found that the severity of visual acuity very well correlated with the severity of RNFL thinning and was statistically significant in affected as well as the fellow eyes. While examining quadrant-wise, it was observed that the temporal nasal quadrants were thinner in NMO. The superior and inferior quadrant were not affected. Discussion. The demographic details revealed female preponderance with mean age being 25 to 45 years, which was consistent with the previous studies carried out by Charles Weller et al. Our study demonstrated that optic neuritis occurred unilaterally in these diseases with only 2 cases showing reduced color vision. Pupillary reaction was found to be sluggish ill-sustained in 18 eyes and brisk ill-sustained in 7 eyes, while 7 eyes demonstrated RAPD. These findings corroborated with the study of Miller et al. Rachford et al. In their study confirmed the occurrence of greater loss of RNFL thickness in MS patients, where Susan Novel et al. Found that all patients of CIS had normal overall RNFL thickness. Our study also found that the temporal and nasal quadrants were affected to a greater magnitude, while the superior quadrant were demonstratively different, indicating of the affection of the papillomacular bundle. Naismith RT agreed on the fact that there is a critical value of RNFL thickness below which the visual acuity decreases. The critical value has been set at 71.41 micron. Below 50 to 52 micron, the vision drops to less than 20 by 100. And severity of visual acuity very well correlated with the severity of RNFL thinning. Conclusion is, OCT has provided a basis for correlating structural aspects of anterior visual pathway, and hence evaluating the axonal damage, severity of visual impairment, or measuring RNFL thickness loss using OCT is extremely useful in assessing the progression of visual loss. These are my references. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Varun.
Thank you, ma'am.
So any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Varun, for a nice presentation and observation as well. So do you find any challenges on the fixation while you are doing OCT, where these patients are able to fix quite well for the RNFL measurement, or any special tricks are there for that? Because the vision loss is, yeah.
So those who were not able to fix it, or those who have any media opacity or signal strength less than 6/10, were not included in our study. Although they were the diagnosed case of MS and NMO, but due to the less signal strength or any other artifact, we didn't include in our study.
Now, even in normal patients, say for example, a fresh optic neuritis, sometimes you will have these kind of challenges where patients are not able to fix it. So, any special considerations you suggest, or you have, you have tried to think over it?
Sorry, sir, I haven't.
Even for fresh optic nerve cases, there is sometimes, when you want to measure the RNFL thickness, there are some challenges related to the fixation for this particular patient. So, do you advise any special considerations for this criteria?
So we can take an average of 3 to 4 scans.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so